beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. I am an intuitive reader, a manifesting coach, a Reiki practitioner, and a life path guide and mentor here to help you along your awakening journey so that you can co-create the life of your dreams. I have created 2 online courses. The first one is Understanding Energy and How to Cleanse Your Energy. This will empower you in any space at any time so that you don't have to walk around life feeling like you need to protect your energy. Instead, you can walk around projecting your beautiful light and feeling so safe. My second course is How to Become an Intuitive Reader. I teach you all the things to empower you to trust yourself, to build a connection with your guides and your angels and the universe so that you can bring your gifts to others. Both of those courses are linked below. They are the first ones in my description box. And I just want to thank you so much for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, connect your energy to mine so that we can co-create an amazing experience together. So in this video, we are going to talk about how the universe shows you magic, how it works, how you can start living a life where you feel like manifestations are just unfolding effortlessly. So as you all know, for those of you that have been following me, I post a lot on my community page and I share a lot of my life and I share my experiences and my healing and my growth with everyone because I know when I was first on my spiritual awakening journey, I lived for spiritual teachers who gave details, who shared how spiritual awakening was happening in their own life and continuously, because I feel like it never really ends. I am 6 years into my spiritual awakening, and there is still more things that occur every single week that trigger me, that inspire me, that motivate me. And I wanted to share a bunch of that today in this video. So the way the universe works is we are in these bodies, right? We jump down into this experience and we're here. People like to call it school, like we're learning lessons. And I totally believe in that. But I also think we're here to have fun. I think we're here to just be in these earth suits and taste things and smell things and experience love and laughter and beautiful scenery. And we all have a mission as well. So as we're experiencing the joy, the mission is how can we experience more of that joy? And what I have found that blocks me is fear. So as humans, we all grow up in a certain way. We have a certain environment that we chose to live in as children. And sometimes, so-called bad things happen and they influence our joy. They kind of callous us over. Our spirit kind of gets dim and it kind of goes lower down into our body and our chakras get all blocked. And then as we spiritually awaken, each chakra is then opening up and allowing more joy, more love in. As each chakra is opening, we are experiencing things in our physical reality. So when you spiritually awaken, the universe is going to bring you situations that are going to poke you in each of those areas of your chakras to cleanse you so that you can go experience food, experience travel, experience love to its maximum capacity. So your soul came here for this experience, right? So it's like, all right, how do we get to experience this over here? But if we're feeling so fearful and scared over here, we want to have our dream job, but we're afraid to leave our current job to go towards it. So I like to see how it's like a bridge, right? We're in one area of our life and the universe and our souls want us to jump over here so that we can live that fulfilling life that we literally jumped into these bodies to experience. And that bridge is walking through the fear. And the universe brings you all of these synchronicities and all of these signs to kind of lure you into that bridge. It wants you to cross over into a better life, but you have to be willing to take the steps. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I am here to share how the universe kind of does this for us and how it brings us the situations we need for our own healing. So I recently took a trip to Tampa, Florida, mainly because one of my clients lives overseas and she was going to be in the United States. So I was like, oh my gosh, I will totally fly to come meet you in person and hug you for the first time ever. We talk almost every day. We're like best friends. So why not? So I found a flight for like $60, total universe sign that I was meant to go. Little did I know that this entire 7-day trip was going to activate my soul. It was going to activate more of my chakras. I had no idea that I was going for healing. I booked that trip thinking I was going to have some fun in the sunshine. I was going to meet my friend Avi and her parents. and just connect for a couple days. And then I was going to have 4 or 5 days to myself just to relax and just enjoy Florida. It was the total opposite. So, as this trip brought me a bunch of healing, it also brought me a bunch of magic. It was the bridge of events. The universe was saying, hey, Michelle, we see you in New Jersey doing your thing, you're living your life, you're creating content, you're working one on one with your clients, and now we want you to level up. And we want to expand you and we want you to heal more. We want you to stand in your power. So, we're going to lure you to Florida so that we can kind of break you down to build you back up. And we're going to bring you magic along the way to let you know that you're meant to be here. So, my signs and synchronicities were the flight was really cheap. I got to the counter at the rental car place, and the woman literally just offered me a Jeep for the whole week, which would have been $100 a day. And I got it for $55 a day for the price of the compact car that I had already signed up for prior to getting to the counter. I had booked everything. I had the Airbnb booked, the rental car, the flights. I did it all at once a couple weeks prior. But then I got to the counter and I saw Jeeps on their ad, and I said something like, oh, you have Jeeps. And he's like, oh my gosh, let me see if I can ask my manager to see if we can get you a Jeep for the price of the compact car. You're so nice. I want to help you out. And I literally was like, this is such magic. So my trip started out like really, really magical. So this is what the universe does. It lures you in and lets you know that you're meant to be somewhere. But really, the purpose of the trip is for your growth, it's for your healing. So if you're experiencing magic, but also upheaval in your life, or you're experiencing a ton of emotions, but then you're getting a bunch of signs, this is all part of the journey. It's never ending. We're always growing and expanding, but also learning to just observe it all and have so much fun with that magic. So I ended up getting the Jeep for $400 cheaper than it would have been. I only paid $340. That should have been 700 and something for 7 days. So here I am starting my Jeep, headed to my Airbnb. That was my first magic. Then I get to my Airbnb and it was not okay. It was a beautiful, like, resort type of environment inside the complex. They had all these little, like, quiet little spots where you could read, work on your computer. They had a pool, but outside the Airbnb was like the worst neighborhood ever. Everyone kept saying, don't go for walks. And I was just like, what? I was like, I literally just booked an Airbnb where I can't even go for a walk. I have to drive somewhere and then go for a walk. So I was already feeling unsettled. So here I am laying in bed, 2 a.m., the first night that I'm there, and I have like a panic attack. I just feel like somebody's going to break into my Airbnb, hurt me, do something, kill me. I don't know. My mind was creating all of these stories. And I just was like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here. And in that moment, I knew it was an expansion moment for myself. And my soul, the universe led me across that bridge. It took me in that airplane, landed me in Florida all by myself, no help, nobody to save me. I had to literally be in that bed and figure out a way to find faith, figure out a way to let that chakra, that sacral chakra, the security chakra, which is your safety and your stability. I had to literally sit there with my thoughts and embrace it and allow the fear to be there and say, I'm safe, I am protected, everything is fine. Michelle, you're okay. I was at the point where I was like, do I get in my Jeep and just drive around at 2 a.m. just to get rid of the energy? But then I was scared to even drive in the neighborhood. I felt incredibly trapped. And it was probably the worst anxiety slash panic attack that I've had in years. And then I woke up and I was like, you know what? I know my mom is probably worried about me. And I wonder if I was feeling her energy, because she hates when her kids travel, especially me, because I'm single and I travel alone every once in a while. And she hates it because she just doesn't do it herself. So her own fears get the best of her, and they kind of influence my experience. And we're very, very connected. So if you guys didn't know this, when you spiritually awaken, you become more connected to your parents. You feel their energy. You might have the same ailments as them. I started to have right ankle pain a couple weeks before my trip. And my mom took me to the airport and she was like, man, Michelle, I just have this left ankle pain that I can't get rid of. And I'm sitting there going, all right, universe, her and I are connected. She's carrying the left ankle, I'm carrying the right ankle. So all of that represents that root chakra, your safety in the world, your safety in life. So as the universe was bringing me all these magical experiences, it also brought me one of the scariest experiences of being alone, not feeling safe somewhere, but having to rely on spirit and God and the universe to protect me. And I woke up the next day, I called my mom and I was like, hey, I didn't tell her about my panic attacks. I don't want her to worry. And I did call my mentor though, and I talked to her about it. And I said, Mom, were you worried about me? She said, oh my gosh, I was up at 2 a.m., freaking out, worried about you, hoping nobody kidnapped you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my mom's own fear affected me. And it influenced that for me too. So I know as I'm doing this healing and this cleansing, I'm helping my mom heal. So her left ankle, my right ankle, we are two parts of the same whole. I am doing the healing for my family, and you are too. So we have to do this. This is part of our mission. We're here to enjoy our experiences, but we're also here to elevate and to work through fear. So once I realized that my mom was experiencing that too, I was like, okay, this isn't all mine. She also has fear that I carry through her, through the umbilical cord. Maybe she felt fear when I was in the womb, and I have now inherited this. There's so much science behind all of that, and I'm very, very aware of it. So here I am the next morning wondering, I have 7 days ahead of me by myself. 2 of the days I'm going to be spending with my friend, but the rest of the time I'm solo. And my first night here feels really scary to be solo. So it was like, all right, Michelle, strap on your big girl pants and let's go. But I made the best of it. And let me tell you how much the universe hooked me up. So if you love magical miracle stories, you're going to love this. So one of the days I went to Orlando, which is about an hour and a half away from where I was, and I didn't buy the Sun Pass in Florida, which allows you to go through tolls so you don't have to stop and pay, and you can just pay electronically. I didn't buy it because I didn't think I was going to go to Orlando, but the day that I was going to Orlando, there was like 5 different tolls, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, I don't have any quarters. I don't have exact change. So I drive up to the first toll booth, and there's a wonderful woman there, and I have this like 5-minute conversation with her. Nobody was behind me, so we could have the time to talk. And she literally let me pay with a 20. And she totally hooked me up. She gave me directions to the closest Wawa or 7-Eleven that I could go to get quarters for all the rest of the tolls. She told me exactly what to do. And when you sign up for your rental car, they tell you that you can't pay cash at the tolls, which is a lie because they just want you to buy the SunPass, or they just want you to buy whatever they put in the rental cars. But you can, it's $1.75 for each toll. You just need the quarters to do it. Or the exact change. So she hooks me up. Then I go to the 7-Eleven that I find, and I walk in with a $20 bill. I'm like, hey, I was like, I have change. I need some quarters for the tolls. And she goes, sorry, we can't do that. And I was like, really? I'm like, you can't give me quarters? And I was like, all I need is like maybe $3 in quarters. And she's like, no, I'm sorry. And then she looks behind her and she looks back at me, looks behind her again. I think she was looking for a manager, and she whips out this roll of quarters. It's $10 in quarters. She goes, here. She goes, take this. Don't tell anybody I gave it to you. So she totally hooks me up with all of these quarters, which was so cool. So for me, experiencing the magic of getting the Jeep for $400 off, finding the toll booth lady who was so kind and so sweet. She told me where to go next. I went to the 7-Eleven. It's like every step of the way, I was being shown. And this is what happens when you spiritually awaken. You begin to see every contact, every stop, every person as a gift. You're literally seeing these people speak to you. She was looking over her shoulder, and I was watching her do this, knowing the universe was moving her. It was moving her to help me. It was not going to settle for the no. And I'm learning to follow that. I follow that in my regular life here. But when I was traveling, every decision was so scary because I'm like, I'm in charge of me. I have to do everything myself. And some people travel all the time and they have no qualms. They're so good at it. It's effortless, it's easy. But I am very sensitive. I know too much about the world. I know I have been abused in my life sexually and physically, and a lot of memories actually surfaced on my trip in that bed, in that Airbnb, of sexual abuse when I was a little girl, where I didn't feel safe in my bed. I didn't feel safe in my home because I had abusive situations that happened in my home. I wasn't safe at school because I had such a panicked energy to do well in school. If I didn't do well in school, I got in big trouble when I got home. So I had all of these memories surfacing of when I was a little girl, and where was I safe? There was no safe environment. I wasn't safe at school because I was panicked and I had to perform. And then I go home. I'm not safe at home. I'm not safe in my own bed because sexual abuse had happened there. And it's like, I never know when it's going to happen. So it's like, I'm always looking at the door, wondering, is somebody going to come in? And it was just all of these memories surfacing. And I'm laying in this Airbnb in a place that's foreign, not feeling safe. And I was texting my friend, I think I need to change Airbnbs. I think I need to go to a hotel. And this is a pattern for me. Living spaces are patterns for me. I don't feel good or safe wherever I live. There's always some sort of small, minor issue. Either I'm creating it or it's manifesting because I need to learn this and to heal this. So my lesson is little Michelle didn't feel safe in any environment when she was a little girl. So now I'm manifesting in my adult body, not feeling safe in any environment. And I'm still searching for that safety. But what's the lesson there? Can you guys comment below and tell me what the lesson is for me? The lesson is I am safe in here. I am safe in my faith. I am safe with God. I am safe with the universe and my angels and my guides and I trust myself to make the right decisions, and I'll know if it's not right and I should leave somewhere. So I am building and strengthening this muscle within me to know that I can be anywhere and be okay. And that's something that I think my soul has been trying to get me to learn it for a couple of years now. And on this trip, it clicked. Everything clicked into place. Once I realized that I was younger and I had no safe space, no wonder why I'm always like everywhere, always overthinking, like having that social anxiety, wondering how to be, manipulating to fit people's needs. And I don't do it as much anymore, but I was still doing it on this trip. I was still walking around not feeling safe wherever I was. So this was a huge moment for me. And as this was happening, there was also a ton of magic. So I was so confused. I'm like, wait, this trip is like really, really fun, but it's also really, really, really painful. And I couldn't like discern between two. And my ego was trying to figure it all out. And that's when I stopped and just surrendered and said, you know what? This trip was a healing trip. I wasn't aware of it. Now I am. Now I'm just going to let it be. So moving on to more of the magic, I know this video is kind of like a hodgepodge of stuff, but I just wanted to share it because I know it's going to help somebody else out there. Say that you were sexually abused, physically abused, maybe your home wasn't safe, maybe you were homeless, or maybe you were in foster care. If you were hopping around in your younger self, not feeling safe, then that might be manifesting in your physical reality right now, and we need to heal it. And we need to stop it so that we can feel safe no matter where we are. So then we won't keep attracting these situations that make us feel panic. So more of the magic that happened is I have a great friend who used to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the professional football team, and he lived in Tampa. So I was texting him the whole trip and he was giving me restaurants to go to. He was telling me where he used to live and where he used to walk. So I kind of went to those places because it made me feel a little bit more safe to know that if he lived there, then I know it was a safe environment. So I went to this one restaurant called On Swan. And you guys know I love swans. I have them in my house and they just represent love and mates for life. And it's just really sweet and loving. So there's a street called On Swan. So the restaurant is called On Swan. So I go there. I'm sitting at the bar by myself. It's so crowded. There's all these people there. And there's this really lovely woman sitting next to me. And I just was like, hey, do you mind if I sit here? And she was like, yeah, no problem. Anyway, we just start talking and she's like, I have a really weird job. And I'm like, you have a weird job. I'm like, I have a weird job too. So we shared what we do. She works as like a coordinator for fraternities and sororities. So she gets to coordinate like all the fun things that they do. So it's a really cool job. And then she was traveling because they have a convention every year. The convention was in Tampa. So she was getting ready to leave to go to the airport and I was sitting next to her. I told her about my job, my experiences, and it was just awesome. We talked for like an hour and I gave her some advice about her 8-year-old son who's very sensitive. I was telling her how to cleanse his energy, how to give him baths. She was so thankful. She was like, oh my gosh, I feel like you know him. I feel like you get him. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I can feel children really strongly and I know what they need. And then she goes to the bartender. She goes, I want to pay for her entire meal. So she totally takes care of my entire lunch. And I'm sitting there like, I start crying, like instant tears. It's almost like, you know, when you have a baby, if any of you guys are parents, that instant cry, as soon as you hear your baby cry, you're like, oh my God, I just created life. And it's just instant. As soon as she said that to the bartender, I just instantly started to cry because and I could even cry right now because she has no idea like what I had just been through. I'm alone in a city that I'm not familiar with. I had memories of sexual abuse. I was feeling so ungrounded. And here she is paying for my lunch. I was like, I felt like God just hugged me so deeply and was like, Michelle, I got you. You're taken care of. And I literally was like this right in front of her, and she put her hand on my back and she was just like, "You're so sweet. It's the least I can do. Thank you for sitting here and making my day." And I was like, "You made my day too." And then she left, and I just looked at the bartender and I'm like, "She's so nice." And he was like, "You're so nice too." And it was just so much love in a little bar area. So then I left that feeling so full. So the universe aligns us to the right people at the right time, to who we need when we need them. And I know this stuff. That's why I was so shocked that I was struggling so much on this trip, because I've experienced this. I've learned this many, many times. But when you leave your home environment, it's just different. It's a whole new level of, you're growing your new wings. You're really seeing who you are and how you handle life situations. And I think for a lot of us, when 2020 hit, it kind of cocooned us, right? We kind of went back into our shell. So coming back out feels a little bit like, oh, I don't know how to do this again. I got to learn how to walk all over again. So if you're feeling that way, I encourage you to break through that, to move toward your fear, take the trip, do something different. I know that I am now committing to taking myself out of my apartment more often and going to different towns in New Jersey, just to stretch my faith muscle, just to stretch and push myself to do things that I'm scared of more often, because I don't want to get caught in that cocoon again of staying in my comfort zone for too long. Because when you do that, then when you break out, you have that panic attack, you have that anxiety, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's because your nervous system is in shock and you're giving your body an experience it hasn't had in a while. So if we do it more often, it won't be as bad. Okay. But also remember that the universe will guide you. You don't have to force these things to happen. You can ask for it. It will lure you across that bridge. It will send you signs. It will make it very, very easy for you to take the trip, to do the thing, because your soul is looking to expand. Expansion is never easy. I call it the squeeze. We're in a cocoon and we're about to come out with our new wings like this beautiful butterfly, but the squeeze is real. And you can have real panic attacks. You can have anxiety. You can feel like you're going to die, but you're not. It's all an illusion. Your mind is creating it from past experiences. So I was laying in that Airbnb bed, feeling the fear that I felt as a kid. We have to re-feel it to release it. So to purify and to cleanse your chakras, we sometimes have to be put in similar situations to kind of activate it so we can release it. I've been in many situations in the past where I was activated in that way, where I didn't feel safe. And I needed the universe to bring me that experience to let me know I am safe and I don't need to crawl back into a hole. And I can put myself out there and I can be strong. And I still felt like a fragile butterfly even on the way home. But as soon as I got to the airport in Florida, I felt like I was floating. I was walking through feeling like a different woman. I was like, I can handle anything. I can be the light wherever I am. I am no longer trying to protect my energy. I am projecting it, but I'm also coasting through knowing that I'm not that important and not everybody's looking at me and not everybody's trying to hurt me. And that's what the ego does. The ego likes to make us really, really important people. It likes to put us in fear. And when we become the observers of that, we then see it as silly and arrogant and kind of like, I can't believe I was walking around scared, thinking everybody's looking at me and somebody's going to hurt me and somebody's going to do something to me. That's just the ego. The soul knows that we're safe. The soul knows that we're here to inspire. So even in the airport, here's some more magic. I get to the security line and some lady opens up a second line and it was super, super easy and short. And she lets me go through it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the first one in this line. Thank you, universe. And I wasn't in a rush, but it's just like the floodgates opened. Like everything was just easy. I was flowing in a river. And then I get to my gate and every seat is taken. It's so crowded, but they have these cool little workstations. And it's like your own little cubicle and you just can be in your own energy. And there was an end one that I sat at the whole time. And I just was like, this was perfect. I didn't want to sit next to a bunch of people and be around everybody's energy. I just opened up my laptop. I started working on Canva for more YouTube thumbnails. And I just had my AirPods in, listening to a wonderful YouTube video, expanding myself. And I just felt like I was in my own little bubble. But I attracted all of that because of the energy I was in before I went there. I was telling myself, why does everything always happen so easily for me? Why is life so effortless for me? And I wasn't in my fear bubble thinking, oh my gosh, I'm scared here. I'm flying home. I hope everything goes okay. I hope that I get there on time. I hope I get to my flight on time. I didn't have an ounce of those thoughts. I had switched my thinking to, I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to be present. I'm going to feel good. It was like an inner shift that happened in me. I just felt like I was this strong man walking through the airport. It's like I could feel like what it would be like to be a man. You know, men don't fear things as much as women do as far as safety and security. It's just in the core of the feminine energy. We just feel a little bit unsafe all the time. And men have this more grounded sensation where they might fear not being able to protect their feminine, but they don't fear for their own life as much. Correct me if I'm wrong, men, let me know. Um, but I think most men don't even have that thought. You know, maybe they're thinking about other things, but I felt like that. I felt like I didn't have an ounce of fear. And I just was walking through the airport feeling like a man, kind of like, oh, I can do this. I'm strong. I'm not even thinking about this anymore. So it's like I found my root chakra. I found my legs. I found that stability within myself. And without that trip, I wouldn't have found it. Without all the synchronicities, without all of that woman paying for my lunch, the toll booth lady, the woman at 7-Eleven, the lady at the car rental place. It's like every single person was helping me. And it just empowered me even more in life to know that that is the universe working through all of those people to give me what I need, to protect me, to keep me safe, to keep me provided for. So before I've experienced this, I went to Lake Tahoe in 2017 by myself. I hiked, I kayaked, but that was the old Michelle. I wasn't as soft and as open and in my feminine energy. And now it's like I have this new empowered divine feminine energy within me where I still feel soft and playful, but I'm not vulnerable. I can hold my own. I don't need somebody to protect me, but it will feel nice, but I don't need it. I can go anywhere and be okay. And I'm still working on it. I'm still integrating. When I came home, I had to like sleep for an entire day because if you can think about 7 days of that experience, for 7 days, I was on high alert looking for safety everywhere I went. And the safety would arrive, but I still wasn't feeling fully safe. And so when I came home, the safety of my home, oh my gosh, I literally was touching everything. And I'm like, I love you. I miss you. I'm so glad you're here. And I slept on my couch all day yesterday and just relaxed. And it was like, I got a massage. I just took care of myself because I knew that my nervous system had just gone through a washing machine. It was just tumbled all around, and I could finally just relax and not have to make any decisions in my own house and just rest. So, in your life, where is the universe taking you across the bridge? Where is it pushing you to expand? Where is it showing you synchronicities and signs? And where is it literally letting you know that you're safe and protected? We all need to clear our lower three chakras in order to move into the fourth density consciousness, which is the heart space. Your fourth chakra is your heart chakra. So we need to move through the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, and we need to heal all three of them. The root is all about your security and your safety in the world, and that's what I was healing. And I've done a lot of work on my root chakra, but there was still residual stuff there clearly that I needed to heal. My sacral chakra, my sexual energy, my womb space, that was the sexual abuse. I was cleansing that as well. Then there's the solar plexus, your power center, being able to provide for yourself, stand up for yourself, set boundaries. That was also being healed for me on that trip. I was being forced to be in my power. So all of us are going through these activations right now. Some of us are already through it. Some of us are just starting it. But if you're experiencing anything like what I just described, you are being forced to cleanse your lower three chakras, and it is so good for you. So allow it to happen. Don't overthink it. Trust that if the universe is luring you in somewhere with signs and synchronicities, go. If you're seeing license plates of certain states, go. Okay. Or if you're in a different country and you're just feeling the call to go somewhere, do it. You're being guided to get more healing. And sometimes we have to be taken out of our own environment to activate that healing. But there's so much magic along the way, so we can enjoy both. And that's what life is. It's the balance of both. Enjoying the tasting, the smelling, the experiences, the love, the laughter, but also growing our soul and doing the things that are hard and that we might not want to do. Okay. You have the power. You can do it. If you need help, book a session with me. I will guide you through all of this. The healing journey is not easy, and your spiritual awakening is happening whether you like it or not. So you might as well get the guidance and support that you need through this time. And sometimes these awakenings are activated through divorces, through breakups, through job loss, through financial loss, through a health issue, an illness. So if you're going through any of that, please message me. I also mentor people for 8 weeks. We do a call once a week. I get you super strong in your new wings, and then I let you fly, and then you feel like you can do it on your own. So if you feel called, click the links below so that you can work one-on-one with me. I'm sending you so much love. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you in the next one. All right, peace out.